students, today we will discuss about the Cinematograph Act of 1952. There can be no discussion of Indian culture without mentioning the Indian cinema. India produces more films than any other country in this globe. India produces nearly 1800 films in a year, and these are screened in more than 10,000 theaters or cinema halls. The Indian cinema attracts more audience. So for many years, the Indian film industry has ranked first in the world in terms of annual output. Indian cinema composed of various language film industries. Indian cinema is a global enterprise, and films which are produced in India have wide viewership and fan base throughout the South Asia and more than 9 countries in the world. Millions of Indian overseas also watch Indian films, and that accounts more than 12% of the total box office revenues. The history of Indian cinema extends back to the beginning of the films which were made during 1896, and Louis Lumiere and Robert Paul, both the brothers, they were screened moving pictures in London in the year 1896. That was a commercial photography that became worldwide sensation during the time. And both Lumiere, Louis Lumiere and Robert Paul, they also screened the film in India in Bombay. The film, which was made by Louis Lumiere and Paul Robert, is called as Workers Leaving the Lumiere Factory. It is also known as The Employees Leaving the Lumiere Factory, and it is a French short film, black and white film, silent documentary film that was directed by the Louis Lumiere and his brother. It is a 38-second documentary short film. If you see the silent films during 1890s and 1920s, in 1897, a film presentation by Professor Stevenson featured a stage show at Calcutta's Star Theatre with the Stevenson camera and his encouragement. Hiralal Sen, an Indian photographer, made a film consisting of scenes from that show, namely The Flower of Persia, in the year 1898. 1899, by H.S. Bhattacharya, showing a wrestling match at the Hanging Gardens in Bombay, was the first film to be shot by an Indian and the first Indian documentary film. The first Indian film that was released in India was Sri Pundalik, that was directed by Dada Saheb Torne. It was released on 18th May 1912. It was a 22-minute long silent film in Marathi language. It was screened at Coronation Cinematograph, Bombay. Some have argued that Sri Pundalik was not the first Indian film because it was a photographic recording of a play, and because the cameraman was a British man named Johnson, and the film was processed in London. The second full-length motion picture in India, Raja Harishchandra, that was produced by Dada Saheb Phalke or Dundi Raj Govind Phalke. He is considered as the pioneer of Indian film industry. Released on May 3rd, 1913. It was a silent film in Marathi language, and here male actors also played the role of female actors, and only one print of the film was made for showing at Coronation Cinematograph on May 3rd, 1913. It was a commercial success. When it comes to the Tamil language, Kishakavadam was the first silent film that was produced by Nataraja Mudaliar in the year 1916. When it comes to the Malayalam film industry, Vigata Kumaran was considered as the first Malayalam feature film that was made in the year in 1928 by J.C. Daniel Nadar. The Vigata Kumaran was the first Indian social drama feature film and also which incorporates the first Dalit actress in the Indian film industry. In South India, the first Telugu and Tamil bilingual talkie that is called Kalidas, it was released on October 31st, 1931. The film industry in India gained popularity and the tickets were also affordable to the masses at that time and due to the additional comforts available at cinema halls, people used to go to cinema halls and watch films. And young producers also began to produce movies. They introduced social life and culture in Indian cinema and also brought new ideas from across the world. When it comes to the talkies, where we have the sound during 1930s and mid 1940s, Ardeshir Irani released Alam Ara, the first Indian talkie, on 14 March 1931. Irani also later produced first South Indian talkie film called Kalidas, which was directed by H.M. Reddy, released on 31st October 1931. It was a bilingual film released in Telugu and Tamil language at the same time. Jumai Shasti was the first Bengali talkie. On January 8th, 1937, Kisan Kanya, which was directed by Moti B, was the first color film made in India by Indian.